Today, we are going to talk about a secret. It's one that's been kind of hidden in plain sight, a principle that was understood by, of all people, a Roman soldier that could completely unlock the power your prayers have been missing. Have you ever felt this? You pray, you really believe, but it just feels like your words are hitting a ceiling and bouncing right back. It is so frustrating. But what if the problem isn't with your prayer at all? What if it's something deeper? Here's the big reframe for today. Often what we think is a prayer problem is actually an obedience problem. The blockage isn't somewhere up in the heavens, it's right here in our own hearts. And there is no better example of this than a king who thought he had it all figured out. And that brings us to King Saul. His story is just such a powerful warning about how even well-intentioned disobedience can completely sabotage our connection with God. It blocks the very flow of power we're trying to access when we pray.
So God gives Saul a very clear command. Destroy everything. I mean, everything. Leave nothing behind. And when the prophet Samuel shows up, Saul proudly announces, "I did it. I have performed the commandment." You can just hear the confidence, right? He's totally focused on the performance, the 90% he got right.
But then Samuel hears something, the unmistakable sound of sheep bleating. And he asks this sharp, cutting question. You see, Saul destroyed all the worthless stuff, but he kept the best sheep alive. And his excuse? Oh, he was going to sacrifice them to God later. He literally tried to hide his disobedience behind a religious excuse. And this gets right to the heart of the whole thing. Let's be really clear. Partial obedience is total disobedience. Following 99% of the instructions while holding back on those comfortable areas, our little pet sins, our best sheep, is still a complete failure to submit. And that creates the spiritual blockage that makes our prayers feel so powerless. So what does that look like for us today? Well, it's the gossip in the group chat that we jump into just to feel like we belong. It's that secret bitterness we're holding on to. It's choosing to scroll on our phone for another hour instead of just opening the Bible. It's all the little compromises we keep hidden away. So if that's the problem, what in the world is the solution? Well, if Saul shows us the problem, who shows us the solution? The answer comes from a really unlikely source, a Roman centurion. This guy understood a profound spiritual law that King Saul just completely missed.
Now pay close attention to the centurion's logic here. He says to Jesus, "Look, you don't even need to come to my house. Just say the word." Why was he so confident? Because as a military man, he got how authority works. He says, "I am a man under authority, and because of that, I have soldiers under me." He understood the order of operations.
And this right here, this is his secret. This is the key that shatters that ceiling. You cannot have authority over your circumstances, not your fears, not your finances, not your health, unless you are first willingly and completely under God's authority. Submission is the prerequisite for power. It's that simple.
It's a chain of command, plain and simple. First, you submit to God's specific commands. Then, and only then, do you get to walk in his delegated authority. One absolutely has to come before the other. You can't skip step 1 and expect to get to step 2. I absolutely love this idea. Spiritual authority isn't some magical cloak that just appears out of thin air. No way. It's a muscle. And you build that muscle with every single small, sometimes boring, act of obedience when nobody else is watching. That is how you get strong. Okay, so theory is great, but how do we actually start building that muscle? Let's get really practical. Here is a simple 7-day blueprint to put the Centurion's secret into practice in your own life, starting literally today. It's a 3-part daily action plan. Super simple. We've got the morning word, the all-day prayer, and the nightly audit. It's simple, it's clear, and I promise you it can be transformative if you just commit to it for 1 week. All right, step 1, the morning word. Before you check your phone, before the notifications start flooding in, spend just 10 minutes reading 1 chapter of Proverbs. Why Proverbs? Because it's literally the book of practical, everyday wisdom and obedience. You're giving God the very first fruits of your day and your attention. Step 2 is the bullet prayer. To stay connected to God all day, we're going to use a physical trigger, a doorway. Every single time you walk through a doorway, from your bedroom to the kitchen, your car to the office, walking to the printer, even heading into a meeting, just whisper, "Lord, order my steps." This tiny act turns prayer from a scheduled event into a constant running conversation.
And finally, we get to step 3, and this one is absolutely crucial for maintaining our integrity day by day. We call it the red pen protocol. So here's what you're gonna do. Before you fall asleep, grab a notebook. Be honest and write down one specific moment from your day where you compromised. No excuses, no justifying. Then you physically take a red pen and cross it out. This is a powerful, symbolic act of canceling that disobedience. And finally, you replace it by writing out the incredible promise found in 1 John 1:9.
And this verse, this is the engine that powers the whole exercise. You identify the sin, you confess it, and you immediately receive his forgiveness and cleansing. You get to go to sleep free with a completely clean slate, making sure there are no hidden sheep left bleeding in your camp overnight. So what's the mindset that ties all of this together? We're gonna call it the Joseph principle. And it's all about building integrity in the mundane, those moments when life is just, normal.
Think about this. When Joseph was being tempted, his very first thought wasn't, oh no, will I get caught? It wasn't, what will people think of me? No, it was, how can I do this and sin against God? You see, his audience was God, not people. And that shows us that true integrity is always about our vertical relationship with him, not our horizontal reputation with others. This is where that spiritual muscle gets built. It's in the mundane, unseen moments that feel, boring. It's returning the extra $5 the cashier gave you. It's shutting down gossip when it would be so easy to join in. It's choosing the word over your screen late at night. These are the small, repetitive acts of obedience that build massive spiritual authority over time.
So I'll leave you with this one final question. What is the one hidden sheep you are going to deal with today? Don't wait. The authority you've been praying for is waiting for you on the other side of your obedience. Go address it and start walking in the power that comes only from being fully under his authority.